In the last video, I covered the U.S. domestic companies that belong to basic materials sector that are shielded from tariff war and most likely will survive the chaos in case the tariff war escalates. In the current episode, I have covered domestic companies that belong to consumer staples sector that are similarly insulated from the current market chaos. Stay tuned while I break down these companies for you. Before we dive in, a quick but important disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing you hear should be considered financial advice. These are just my observations and research focused specifically on tariff impacts. I do not own shares in any of the companies mentioned in this video, nor do I intend to buy them after releasing it. The purpose of this video is purely educational, to explore which US-listed organizations may be relatively more insulated from tariff impacts and international supply chain disruptions. I have not reviewed their annual reports, quarterly earnings, projected cash flows, or future growth estimates. My views are based solely on their domestic exposure and supply chain positioning within the context of tariff-related risks. This is not a prediction of future outperformance, nor a guarantee these companies will do better than their sector peers or the broader market. I also have not analyzed their debt levels, liabilities, or overall financial health. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. The consumer staples sector, covering essential items like food, beverages, household, and personal care products, forms the backbone of everyday life in the U.S. economy. These are goods people buy regardless of economic conditions, which is why this sector is often called defensive. Whether it's groceries, toiletries, or cleaning products, demand stays relatively stable even during recessions. What makes this sector particularly resilient in today's global landscape is its domestic focus. In this video, we spotlight US-based consumer staples companies that are largely shielded from the impact of global trade tensions and tariff wars. How? By sourcing raw materials domestically and selling primarily to the U.S. consumers. This localized supply chain and market focus help these firms avoid the volatility tied to international trade disruptions. As a result, they enjoy more predictable costs, steadier revenue, and reduced exposure to foreign policy risks, making them standout picks for uncertain times. Hormel Foods, ticker symbol HRL. Hormel Foods Corporation is a meat and packaged food producer known for brands like Spam, Skippy Peanut Butter, and Jennie-O Turkey. It generates approximately 94% of its sales within the United States, serving primarily U.S. consumers. Hormel purchases hogs from over 250 family farms across the Midwest, and many of its key inputs are sourced domestically. Even its other food products, like peanut butter, have strong potential for domestic sourcing of ingredients. Hormel operates a largely internal U.S. production and distribution system. With this localized supply chain, it faces limited exposure to tariffs or overseas shipping disruptions. Its brands have a strong presence and historical footprint in the U.S. market. Campbell Soup is a leading producer of soups, sauces, snacks, and beverages under well-known brands like Campbell's Pepperidge Farm, Prego, and Goldfish. In 2021, about 93.8% of its revenue came from the United States. Campbell Soup sources vegetables, wheat, dairy, and meats from the United States and Canadian farms. For example, carrots, tomatoes, and wheat used in soups are U.S. grown. Most of its production takes place in the United States, with a largely domestic customer base. While some ingredients like canola oil are imported from Canada, overall exposure to international trade issues is minimal. Conagra Brands, ticker symbol C. Conagra is a diversified packaged food company behind brands like Healthy Choice, Slim Jim, and Bird's Eye. In 2023, it generated about $12.3 billion in net sales, with under 10% of that coming from international markets. Conagra operates 38 production facilities in the U.S. and partners closely with American agriculture. For example, Bird's Eye contracts with U.S. farms to grow vegetables like carrots, peas, green beans, and tomatoes in the Midwest and California. With the majority of ingredients sourced and processed domestically, Conagra is largely shielded from tariff impacts and global supply disruptions. Clorox Co., ticker symbol CLX. Clorox manufactures household and personal care staples, including Clorox bleach, Glad trash bags, Kingsford charcoal, and Burt's Bees. About 80% of its revenue comes from the United States. The company operates 39 domestic manufacturing facilities and sources key inputs like chemicals, plastic resins, and wood largely from within the country. With only around 18% of revenue coming from international markets, Clorox avoids many disruptions that impact import-reliant companies. Church & Dwight, ticker symbol CHD. Church & Dwight is a consumer products company best known for the Arm & Hammer brand. Church & Dwight also owns OxiClean, Waterpik, and Trojan condoms. Its consumer domestic segment accounts for roughly 77.5% of revenue. The company is a leading U.S. producer of sodium bicarbonate, a key ingredient in many of its products, and sources much of its raw materials from within the country. Arm & Hammer products, ranging from baking soda to cat litter, are made with the U.S.-sourced inputs. Its limited international operations and locally sourced inputs mean trade conflicts abroad have little direct impact on its supply chain or costs. Cal-Maine Foods, ticker symbol C. LM Cal-Maine is the largest producer of fresh shell eggs in the United States, selling to supermarkets and food service providers across the southwestern, southeastern, midwestern, and mid-Atlantic regions. Its operations are fully domestic, from vertically integrated egg farming to feed and flock management. Corn and soybean feed is purchased primarily from U.S. grain suppliers. All production, processing, and distribution are contained within the country, offering strong insulation from tariffs or port delays. Cal-Maine produces a variety of eggs, including cage-free and organic. Its network includes feed mills across several U.S. states such as Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, and Kansas. This extensive network of domestic feed mills indicates a significant reliance on domestically sourced feed ingredients. As the largest egg producer in the U.S., their primary focus is undoubtedly the domestic market. Flowers Foods, ticker symbol FLO. Flowers Foods is the second largest bakery foods producer in the United States with brands like Nature's Own, Wonder, Dave's Killer Bread, and Tasty Cake. They make breads, buns, and snacks and are distributed across most of the United States. The company's primary baking ingredients are flour, sweeteners, shortening, and water. A significant portion of their wheat flour is likely sourced domestically from major wheat-producing regions in the U.S., such as the Midwest and Kansas. Other key ingredients like sugar, shortening, and oils are largely sourced from domestic or North American partners. Headquartered in Georgia, the company operates 47 bakeries and distributes nationwide using direct store delivery. About 97% of its revenue comes from the U.S. markets. The company focuses on cost-efficient, local sourcing to maintain supply chain stability. Because Flowers Foods production and sales are entirely within the U.S., it faces minimal risk from international trade disputes. The company isn't dependent on imported finished goods or ingredients to keep shelves stocked, making it well insulated from global supply upheavals. Flowers Foods products are sold regionally through a direct store delivery network that encompasses the East, South, Southwest, West, and Northwest regions of the United States. They also deliver nationwide to retailers' warehouses. The company derives approximately 97% of its revenue from the United States. Lancaster Colony, ticker symbol LANC. Lancaster Colony is a mid-sized food manufacturer focusing on refrigerated dressings, sauces, croutons, and frozen garlic bread and bakery products for the United States retail food service channels. Known for brands like Marzetti salad dressings and dips, New York brand Texas Toast, Sister Schubert's rolls, and for producing sauces or rolls for restaurant-branded retail products, for example Olive Garden dressings. The primary ingredients for salad dressings, sauces, and dips often include oils, vinegars, and various agricultural products. The United States has a robust agricultural sector for many of these ingredients. All manufacturing is United States-based. The company's T. Marzetti division runs plants in Ohio, Kentucky, and California to supply customers nationally. Lancaster Colony sources its raw materials domestically, such as vegetable oils, eggs, dairy, and flour from the United States farms and mills. With a customer base consisting of American grocery chains and restaurants, the company has little exposure to international trade tensions. Its domestically integrated supply chain helps avoid issues like import tariffs or overseas transport delays. Altria Group, ticker symbol MO. Altria owns Philip Morris USA and U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Co., selling products like Marlboro and Copenhagen and other tobacco products exclusively in the American market. Philip Morris USA holds about 51% of the United States cigarette market. Tobacco is sourced from states like Virginia, North Carolina, and Kentucky, with some imported leaves used for blending. All manufacturing of cigarettes and smokeless tobacco is done in the United States. Since Altria does not export products and foreign-made tobacco imports are limited to specific leaf types, it has been relatively insulated from the tariff wars. Global supply chain disruptions have little effect on Altria's operations. Its revenue is purely from United States sales, and it doesn't rely on international suppliers for finished goods. Tootsie Roll Industries, ticker symbol TR. Tootsie Roll is a heritage confectionery manufacturer known for products like Tootsie Rolls, Tootsie Pops, Glow Pops, and Dots Gummies. This 128-year-old company is based in Chicago and predominantly serves the United States candy consumers, especially peak demand during Halloween in the United States. Made in America, Tootsie Roll still produces its candy domestically. Its massive Chicago plant churns out 65 million Tootsie Rolls. Most ingredients, corn syrup, sugar, and milk, are sourced domestically, with cocoa being one of the few imported items. Tootsie has a couple of overseas facilities, but they only serve local foreign markets. The United States market is supplied entirely by domestic production. Tootsie Roll Industries is largely unaffected by international trade conflicts or supply chain interruptions overseas. Utz Brands, ticker symbol UTZ. UTZ is a major U.S. manufacturer of salty snacks, including potato chips, pretzels, cheese snacks, corn chips, tortilla chips, popcorn, pork rinds, and veggie snacks. Their portfolio includes brands like UTZ, On the Border, Zapp's, and Boulder Canyon. Headquartered in Pennsylvania, UTZ has a long history in the United States snack food market. The company sells almost all finished goods within the United States. Also, its raw material procurement occurs within the United States. It procures key inputs like potatoes and corn domestically, making it highly resistant to international supply chain shocks. Utz Brands has explicitly stated that substantially all of its finished goods sales and its raw material procurement occur within the United States. General Mills, ticker symbol GIS. General Mills is a global packaged food company that owns a wide range of household name brands like Cheerios, Pillsbury, Haagen-Dazs, and Yoplait. While operating internationally, they have a significant presence in the United States consumer staples sector. The CEO has stated that tariffs are not meaningful for their operations because 95% of sourcing is done domestically. With a vast portfolio of household name brands, General Mills has a strong and established primary consumer market within the United States. GM Smucker Company, ticker symbol SJM. Smucker manufactures and markets a wide range of food products, including coffee Folgers, peanut butter Jif, fruit spread Smuckers, and pet food Milk-Bone. Given the nature of their core products, particularly coffee, peanut butter, and fruit spreads, suggests a significant reliance on agricultural commodities. The U.S. is a major producer of peanuts and fruits, supporting domestic sourcing for peanut butter and spreads. Though coffee beans are imported, Folgers is processed and packaged in the U.S. Milk-Bone pet food is likely made from U.S.-sourced grains and meats. The GM Smucker Company's brands have a strong and long-standing presence in the U.S. market, making it their primary consumer base. So, there you have it, consumer staples companies deeply rooted in the U.S., thriving in a world where globalization is taking a back seat. They don't depend heavily on overseas supply chains. They're not waiting on foreign ports to deliver critical goods. Their production and customers are right here in America. And that makes them incredibly interesting in this era of tariffs, trade wars, and localization. In the next video, we'll cover the energy sector, another resilient group that's playing a major role in this macro reset. If you found this breakdown helpful, give it a like, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to Markets and Global Trends. Let's decode the future, one resilient sector at a time.